Hello, lovelies. How are you doing in this lovely Leo time? It's Thursday, the 12th of August, 2021, and we've just started a really powerful 20-day cycle. We're currently in Blue Eagle wave spell, and I haven't had a chance to do a video yet because I've been so busy and connecting to the Lion's Gate and lots of lovely ladies who are really opening up now to star code energy coming in and getting on track with our soul mission at this time. So today we've got the sun in Leo, we've got the moon waxing to an Aquarius full moon on the 22nd. Today it's in Libra, and I'm in the Libra part of the zodiac. I'll come back to the moon degree in a mo. So here we are on the very last 20-day process that takes us down to another portal at the bottom. And today is a portal of human evolution. It's Akashic record. So we began this cycle also in a portal of Akashic record back in 2020 on the 15th of December in Sagittarius energy. And in broad terms, Sagittarius energy is about healing, it's about traveling, it's about the gateway to creating new stars, and it's about our old ancestral story. It's about how we can heal that, rewire that with the fire energy so that we can expand our potentiality. And so we've come through previous 12 20-day cycles, all taking us from Red Dragon, which is what the Great Mother is bringing us for our conscious evolution, and the planet is Neptune. And this takes us down through all of the Mayan signs until we get to the 20th one, the last one, which is Yellow Sun. And Yellow Sun is all about how much light can we hold and how can we have a direct connection to the spiritual sun, the source code, free of our ancestral template and conditioned mindset that has been created over thousands of years and is focused on fear and control largely in most cultures on planet Earth right now. And we're at the epicenter of that right now, ready to create change. The planet for the sun is Pluto, and that's our hell story that needs to die so that we can live. So it's useful to have a framework that helps us do that, because I offer you that's what we're here for at this time. So this is a very complex thing, and if you watch my videos regularly, you'll know that I try and do a little microcosm at a time to explain what's happening. Basically, we go through red, white, blue, and yellow over and over again. Awakening, refining, transforming, and then the manifestation, the flowering. We have an additional fifth element, which is the green castle. And this is where we are right now. And we're in the blue part of the process of Blue Eagle. And Blue Eagle's planet is Jupiter. Last Friday, I did a mini workshop with a group of ladies on Inspired Soul. And if you want more information about that, please contact me or look up Inspired Souls on Facebook. It's a lovely networking group of people. So we began on the very first day of Blue Eagle, working with that energy of who am I as a planetary server? And again, this is what I offer you. This is the teaching at this time, is we serve the planet by focusing on transforming this shadow story so that we can become clear and free, and we can heal our heart and become a master of that process, so that eventually we become a clear sign, and then we can really start to begin a new beginning for ourselves primarily. And then through that process, this creates a shift for everyone else. My understanding is that we're in a giant mystery school, we're in a holograph, and we are here to learn the lessons of our ancestors as to how we have been living in fear for thousands of years, and what causes that fear, what causes us to live in shadow stories, out of the light, and all the issues around how human beings have related to each other, around these patterns, around ways of being that aren't in balance and cause harm. We become so immersed in that process that often it's hard to see anything else. And this is essential now for us to understand in order to break free from it. And it's an inner job. It's going within. It's clearing off all our hell stories that are wired into our amygdala, so we can be free of them, free of the past on all levels, and so that we can really come into this clear space, this Akashic record place, which is what is resonating now. Because we're on red resonant dragon, it's the last dragon code. What is resonating with truth and authenticity and this clear space? Neptune can be seen as a spiritual story, as being able to access deep esoterica, and that's only accessible when we've cleared all our delusions and illusions, and we are living in alignment with truth and healing, loving, respectful patterns. What she brings in here every year, every cycle, every 260 days, to initiate us with that astrological energy, is she brings us all our survival issues, and we're certainly seeing those on the planet projected now. When we heal, we come into peace and we let go of all our ancestors' survival stories. We come into wisdom, and we don't continually project our fear, our experience of that from the past, onto our day-to-day reality and everything else. So a different story is about, we've been doing all this inner work all this time. We come to this space, and because we've been working on ourselves, using emotional freedom technique and clearing the amygdala is the way that I do it, and it works. We then start to live a very different life. We start to live a more magical adventure. We start to become more courageous and commit to being the warrior of the heart, where we realize that we do create our own reality in co-creation with everyone else as well. And that we start to recognize our patterns, we start to recognize what isn't working for us anymore, what mindsets do we have, what beliefs do we have, and how do we set about transforming them on that inner level so that we can start to feel differently, because we think differently and we put meaning onto things in different ways, freer of the shadow story. And then we take action and we change our behavior so that we align with self-love and what is loving, respectful, healing for us as an individual first, rather than for anybody else first, which is how we've been wired and how we've been programmed, especially as women. So today is a great day to set an intention, particularly as it's a waxing moon, and we're coming up to the Aquarius moon at 29 degrees. So that is a soul degree of many lifetimes of making a shift. And remember that the world is created through each one of us and our inner world, and the universe has to bring us what we believe to be true. Not what we simply think and show to the world, but what we have deep inside, even though we may put a brave face on. These thoughts reveal our energy, reveal our light pattern, our light code. And so it's very important to work with what our culture perceives to be negative energy, the shadow. This is where the gold is, this is where the alchemy is. And this is what is creating our day-to-day reality. So by the time we've gone down to the bottom, we'll be here on the 31st of August. And we'll go right back up there to begin again on the 1st of September. The next 260-day cycle is going to be in Virgo. And this is going to be a hugely transformative circle and cycle, because on the one hand, it's connection to the sacred feminine, and on the other hand, it is connecting to the mindset of how we've been conditioned to think and believe who we are over thousands of years. And we are so much more than that. So today we have the moon in Libra, and it's at 8 degrees. So again, if you're part of the workshop, you will know that the focus was on the Lion's Gate, and it was on the 8th of the 8th, and what that meant in our particular star code, which is our natal chart. So interesting that I'm now making this video at the Leo meridian time, which is 12 till 1 p.m, the heart meridian, and that I'm doing it at Libra 8 degrees. It's always really magical. So I'm just going to read that sigil for you. A vast junkyard. So many things have come to nothing. Such youthful promise gone awry. All because essentials were not heeded, the basics were denied. This gross neglect opens two doors, both of which beckon. The near door is a chute downward into ever more of the same. It somehow has an alluring feeling at the entrance. The far door is almost lost among the rubble and hardly looks like much, but those who walk through there begin slowly to turn everything around, to learn the most invaluable lessons from losing center, and even to regenerate into much better than new. From the vantage point of the gods, those with the courage to go far wrong are the likeliest candidates for the greatest turnarounds. For when you have been to the discard pile, you can feel throughout your whole being the miracle of tapping the lost chord and awakening in the midst of the madness. Such a wonderful card, isn't it? Sorry, such a wonderful degree. But it ties into the card, or the cards for today. So I picked 3 for today. And the first one that I picked was this card, which is Venus in Aquarius. And this is feeling very much like it's linking into this full moon coming up in Aquarius as well. And so I will post a link under the video of Eli, as usual. If you watch my videos, I always post his links. They're absolutely amazing. There's so much info, as there is with these cards. These cards are mind-blowing, the Thoth cards. So number 5 of anything is, to me, it's the mastery number. And in the Mayan, the 5th is Red Serpent. And so we're learning about mastery of relationships, how we are in relationship to ourselves, what beliefs we have, and how we've created those beliefs because of our childhood, because of our conditioning, because of our wider cultural conditioning as well. And now because of our global conditioning, because everything is becoming a global corporate programming pattern on so many levels for so many people. So really this is about, again, survival issues. In many contexts, this can be about other people being spiteful or gossipy about us and wanting to create harm, which could be from jealousy, it could be because they have a need to bring another person down rather than look at their own feelings about their life and do something about it. That's often happened to me in the past and over several times. And it is very frustrating as well when other people project their story onto us, which is what we all do. You know, it's how our mind is crafted, is to put meaning onto the world and keep us surviving. And unfortunately, a lot of the time, because we've all experienced so much wounding over many thousands of years in our tribal mindset, that often we don't have many people who are in the light who are teaching powerful mindsets and understandings. So around being impeccable with our word, for example, and our behaviour, and not going down to other people's low level. So always having integrity and keeping in a space of truth, no matter what other people are doing. This is rare in the world today. So basically, this card really is about focusing on those experiences in the past, because if we haven't healed them, they're still there. Recognizing that whenever these come up for us on a personal level, it's a repeating pattern, and there's still something to be learned, something to be felt, healed, and released. And this is crucial now coming up to Virgo, because Virgo very much is about how we create our reality from our mindset. And the next circle after that, the next 260-day cycle, is going to be in Taurus. So we're going to see the manifestation of Virgo then. So if you look at how all of these follow on, so we've got the Akashic, Sagittarius, what needs to be healed. Then we come into, right, where are we actually with the mindset on that? What's the embodiment of it? Because it's Earth with Virgo, it's the sacred feminine. And then when we've worked with that for 9 months, we're going to see what is born from that in that Taurus energy. Because I've been doing these cycles now for 10 years, I have mapped these patterns and how they go through. So we have like 5-year cycles where things are repeated. So if you think back to 2015 in particular and what was going on for you then, you can perhaps see some similarities going on now around the same key issues. The other card that came up for the major arcana is art. And in the traditional, this is temperance. This is the card of alchemy. So again, the more that we heal, so again, Libra coming into balance with the masculine and feminine, the more that we heal the harmony naturally occurs, because we just shift everything within us. We become more peaceful. Again, that's what Libra is about as well. And just as it said in the degree, when we integrate, when we're willing to be wrong, when we're willing to be free of all past paradigms and just say, okay, universe, goddess, the divine, however you see that, show me what I need to do and I'll do it. And often we've gone to a really rocky place before we do that. It's a great place to be. So there you can see, again, so many symbols in there, but this is all about the marriage within. It's all about coming into balance, each one of us, with our masculine and feminine energy and the complexity of that, because this is a huge card. And it's card number 14, which is the 13-year cycle that we're in, which is White Wizard, the moon goddess Ixchel. All our empowerment issues are coming up. We began this in 2019, and we're now on the 3rd year of it, which is Yellow Electric Seed. And so again, when we're on a day 3, electric, this is about changing our mindset, changing our thoughts in order to become a clear conduit, love embodied, free of the old drama story. And that's what Leo energy is really about as well. So Leo, the heart, the spirit, the fire, and Leo initiates the Mayan year every year, and the moon 13 cycle as well. So we're in magnetic moon, 28 days of what you're initiating that's going to take you through this 13 moon journey of authenticity and being the beacon of light. And today, day 18, add them together, number 9, gateway day. And last but by no means least, Mercury is now in Virgo as well. So again, lots of earth energy, lots of sacred feminine energy coming in. We have the Six of Discs, and this is success. So when we match the mindset of loving ourselves and letting go of anything that isn't in alignment with truth, and again, that's can be an objective thing rather than a subjective thing. A lot of people speak their truth believing it to be objective, but most of the time, for most people, it isn't. It's simply their personal truth, which is a huge difference. When we come into truth and let go of any of our coping mechanisms, any of our people-pleasing behaviour, we come into a very different space. We've created lots of coping mechanisms in order to survive. We've learned them well from our ancestors and our tribe. And most of them don't serve us because they just keep us stuck in the same story of imbalance and, you know, tugging the forelock and all of that. So in this card, and again, I'm not going to go through it in the video, but I will put a link on there because Eli expresses it perfectly. He shows the formula for the planets, and again, you can relate this to your own personal charts. You can relate this to what's going on a transit level now as well. And it shows how to use these amazing frameworks to come into universal truth, where we're aligning and coming back into remembering who we are as star seeds, and how, like any other being on the planet, we need to have the optimum conditions for us to thrive in order to be well. And again, most of these are not happening right now because most of the lifestyles that we live are to fit the corporate and to fit a framework that is so out of truth and out of balance that we have become very sick on a physical and mental level. And so it's essential to really start getting clear now. And again, this really ties in with what's coming up with Virgo, because Virgo is all about health. It's about frameworks to come into a very healthy space. And in terms of EFT, here, when you're tapping on the side of the hand, this is the small intestine meridian, which again is linked to Virgo. So in terms of when that is in the day, that is from 1 till 3 p.m. That's the best time to be intaking nutrients as well. So, and I'm going to be really focusing on this in the next 260-day cycle, really focusing on how to get well. When we tap on this point, we are really working with the solar plexus. This is the veil, this is the heart. And so again, in the tree of life, you look at how all these amazing systems come together because they are universal truth. They may have different labels, they may have different names, slightly different ways, perspectives, but they are all about how to be healthy and aligned. So when we're tapping on the small intestine, first of all, we are coming into acceptance of where we are right now, and we can't go anywhere else until we do that. We can't make changes until we accept where we are now and honour that on a deep level, because that's where we are. So when we tap here and we say the setup statement, even though I have this, whatever the issue is, even though I have this issue with receiving from people, because in the past, I haven't enjoyed how I've received from people. I truly and deeply love and accept myself. That's an example of one that you can use. And so we're saying, even though I've had this problem, I love and accept myself anyway. So immediately we're coming into self-acceptance. And that's really, really key. The Mayan Oracle card today, again, number 8. And if you can see at the back, there she is. The Vesica Pisces. This is a great book and a great set of cards that brings the galactic language in. And there we are. So you can stop the video if you wish at any point. New myth, qualities, personal myth. So this is our old story. Meta myth. This is the galactic story. Purpose, miracle on earth. New golden octave, path of innocence, present moment. Child of the sun, you're being called to wakefulness, to your place in the new myth. A great miracle is coming for planet Earth, and the time is now. A new consciousness will be created by the children of the sun as they ascend with the earth to a new place amongst the stars. A new harmonic of light and sound, a golden octave, is being sounded on earth, ringing in the frequencies of ecstasy, union, and unconditional love. Child of the sun, why did you come to earth? You are the miracle of the new myth unfolding. You came to earth with a purpose, a plan, a master blueprint encoded in your feelings. Live in harmony with that plan. Open your world to the great mystery. You are being asked to view your experiences from a mythical standpoint so that you remember your connection to the larger pattern. Notice the metaphors of your daily life. The key to your personal myth is presenting itself. Your everyday world is infused with a vast mosaic of metaphorical meaning. Everything you do is relevant to the creation of your personal myth, as well as the larger meta myth. From now on, there are no more roadmaps, no more creeds, no more philosophies. From here on, your direction comes straight from the universe, moment by moment. This is the path of innocence, the path of trust. Here, each step is walked only once, and the universe speaks in the voice of the present. Feel the key to the kingdom in your heart. Know that, like the pull of heavenly bodies, love is neither taken nor given, but discovered and allowed. No one is without love, for love is the force that holds universes together. By simply embodying love, you are living the new myth that will create the wave home. Surrender to love and awaken, child of the sun. So beautiful, isn't it? So over the last 240 days, 24, isn't it? We're in the last 20. Over that time, you will personally have encountered events that push your buttons. So on the simplest of levels, that's all you need to know to begin your journey, if you haven't already. Every time a button is pushed and we have an emotional trigger, that is the ancestral story coming up to be cleared. The key thing for all of this is the warrior of the heart has to be ready to feel everything, because, hey, that's what we came here for. That's why we have a body, because our spirits cannot feel the limitations, cannot feel the conditions, cannot feel the ecstasy, the wonder, the joy, the pain, cannot feel what it is to be a human being without a human being. The alchemy and the marriage is also the human being and the spirit. And so, in order for the spirit to fully be embodied, goddess on board, then we have to let it in. If we still have lots of mindsets and struggles and ego and childlike behaviors going on, we cannot embody the goddess, because it simply just doesn't gel, it doesn't go together. Wisdom, the beauty of the soul, becomes stronger, expands more. We access that esoteric wisdom as we heal and mature and become the transparent child, the blue monkey in the Mayan framework. As we heal the past story, all those buttons that come up from time to time become less, till eventually they disappear, and our day-to-day reality does not have dramas in the same way, does not have the same lessons, because we've learned them and we've healed, and we stop doing the ways of living that involve those particular storylines. My understanding through using this system is the only way that the world can change is because we change, because most of the struggles, most of the pain is caused by human beings to each other over a long period of time. Now is the time that we're ready to turn everything on its head and to do whatever it takes on an inner level, learn the behaviors, learn new techniques, learn to be disciplined, and start to embody paradise on earth. Create a new garden, a new Eden, inside first, and then it has to be manifest on the outside too, because that's how it works. It isn't easy to do, I'm not saying that. And we have everything that we need within us. We have all the answers, everything that's there, everything that we perceive to be the problem holds the key, the solution. All we have to do is just feel and be guided and let go of our programmed head telling us how to live and be, and just know it instead. The more we get clear, the more we come back into all our innate wisdom. This is the prophecy of this time. Trust that. And if you don't, start to work on your trust issues with tea. You'll see an amazing difference and your world will change. There are 20 days until the next cycle begins. I have a few places left for women who are ready to do the 52-day process. I will need time to compile your codes as well, so please do get in touch as soon as you can. I still have a couple of places left for the workshop this weekend, which is Friday, Saturday and Sunday. It's 7 p.m. It's 90 minutes for each one of those, which will give you a bigger picture insight, key coding for you in your chart as to what you're going to be working with then. And most importantly, we're going to be focusing on those mindsets, those triggers, and transforming them. If you can't take place in person, it's recorded, so you can play it back whenever you wish. All you need to do is just send me your info and you'll get your ebooks to use when you choose. So this is the beginning gateway before we start to go down to the pathway. You've got your information about Leo, Stargate, the Lion's Gate. On the 8th of the 8th, whatever you were doing then, whatever's been coming into your heart, you've already got all that information. And today is the last day of that Stargate. So tomorrow we're going to be working with all of that amazing information to start the transformation journey and initiate the next steps. I hope you have an amazing 20-day process and that you're living a life of love. You're doing what you want to do, that you feel passionate about. That's the key to everything. No matter what is going on in the world, we are here to initiate this new place within us first. So lots of love to everyone. And if you want to know more, please get in touch. flowwithjo.com, and I will put a contact form underneath. Bye for now.